Android is one of the most difficult markets for indie games. Period. The Google Play Store alone is home to 500,000 games. Now imagine an indie game developer working alone on a passion project. No budget, putting the game on the Google Play Store for the world to enjoy. A week later, the indie game developer checks to see how his game is doing, and oh, it has exactly one download. This is the reality for most indie game developers putting games on Android. The truth is, it is very difficult to get noticed, let alone to make profit. That said, it's also not impossible. How's it going, everybody? I'm AJ, and today I wanted to talk about Android and how much you can realistically expect to make if you put your games on the Play Store. As always, I'm gonna be talking about my own experience, and by no means I mean to say this is true for everybody. Still fun to know other people's experiences so you can make a plan, know what to do and what not to do in order to be successful when it's time to launch your own game on Android. So without further ado, this is how much I make on Android with my indie games. I put my game A Pretty Hot Bunny on the Play Store very early. In fact, it was the first place where the game was available. This was mostly because it is rather easy to put games on the Play Store. Basically, you pay a one-time fee of $25 and you are good to go. You can upload as many games as you want for eternity. So when I started developing A Pretty Hot Bunny, I thought I would just launch it on Android to test the game and see if I could make a little bit of cash, while I kept adding more content via updates. At that time, the game only had the first chapter, so 25 levels. And to my surprise, it actually started getting some players. The first year, the game got around 50,000 downloads or something like that, and that translated into around $50 monthly, all coming from ads within the game. How did I get my game noticed? Keep watching and I'll tell you a secret. Putting ads in your game is always tricky. On one hand, it is the only way to make money from a free game. But on the other hand, players really dislike ads. They hate them. To this day, the most common review I get on my game is it has too many ads. I think it doesn't, and trust me, I would prefer it if it didn't have any. But what can you do? Developers need to buy food too. Years went by, I kept the game alive by releasing constant updates every few months, and the revenues kept ranking. At one point, when the game was at its peak, this is when the game was complete and was released on consoles and Steam. The game started making up to $500 a month. Not bad as a passive income. This was only for a few months though. But when things got back to normal, it still settled on a nice middle ground, and has stayed there since. Today, A Pretty Hot Bunny has almost 500,000 downloads on Android, and is still very much alive. Now, Google is a pain in the butt. They are constantly updating their policies and making it really hard for small developers to keep their games healthy. It is like they literally don't want small developers to make money. Just a few weeks ago, I had an issue with A Pretty Hot Bunny where out of nowhere the game stopped showing ads. I checked everything to see what was the issue. Contacted Google, updated the game, but nothing worked. It took them 3 weeks to finally let me know they once again updated their policies and my game needed a particular update to bring back the ads. I had everything fixed in a couple of hours, but those 3 weeks it took them to get in contact cost me a big chunk of my monthly income. But hey, at least it is fixed now. Anyway, how did I manage to get my game noticed? How can it be possible that a small game from a solo developer can get 500,000 downloads? Well, honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure if I ever will be able to repeat that. But I can tell you that a big part of the secret is contacting YouTubers. Yes, All I did when I launched A Pretty Yacht Bunny when it comes to marketing was contacting a few YouTubers that I thought could be interested in the game. As it turns out, YouTubers can have a big reach, and if you already have a good product, people can resonate with it, and it's a win-win situation. With A Pretty Yacht Bunny, I got lucky that some big YouTubers were interested in the game and made tons of videos. This started getting people to download the game on Android. More and more eyes on the games. That at the end means more downloads. Like I say, I don't know if I'll ever be able to replicate that with another game, but we can only analyze what happened with A Pretty Yacht Bunny and kinda connect the dots. See how important it is to contact the right YouTuber, the right influencer, to play the game and show it to their audience. It doesn't even have to be a big YouTuber, but someone with the right audience for your game can make the difference. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed this little look at my Android experience and think about contacting some influencer when you launch your next game. See you in the next one. Bye!